Sairam, let's start the study circle with 3 ohms. Om. Om. Dear Swami, we are so grateful to be able to meet here together in your presence today. While we are here together studying your word in your Bhagavata Vahini, we ask that you open our ears and hearts to whatever it is you want us to learn. Please speak through each one of us and help us progress in our spiritual journey. Jai Sai Ram. Sai Ram, everyone. Just a reminder to mute your cell phones and let's continue the discussion. Let's speak from the heart and listen with humility. Let's try to leave our egos outside of this discussion so that will help us to learn the lessons we need to faster. All right. This is a little review from last week. I wasn't, this is from Thursday, I think, but I actually, no, I didn't, yeah, I didn't update it from Saturday. I think I didn't save it after I updated. Sorry. We had continued on chapter 31 on Thursday, and we did discuss we did listen to the chapter, and then we discussed about spiritual practice, tapas, and the importance of spiritual practice. And the discussion went on to talking about sadhana versus tapas. And then we talked about purity, because having that kind of spiritual discipline requires us to have certain characters in ourselves. And Swami always says 3 P's are is important. And also his other quote always talks about unity, purity, and divinity. So with that in mind, we had discussed a quote from Swami about purity, and that is the discussion we were talking about, where how can we actually emulate his samasta loka sukhino bhavantu in our lives, or reflect that in our actions. So that's where our discussion was. I'm sorry I did not update this, but this will be updated when I upload it to our final slide deck. So with that, anyone has anything to add from our Thursday discussion? All right, so we can move along. We were actually discussing this Swami's quote on Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, and basically ending with the 3 P's of purity, patience, and perseverance. And he says these are qualities that are always imbibed in him and around him, and these are qualities that we would need to develop within ourselves. And the most important quality is purity. And he talked about how doing good deeds is how we can purify ourselves, as well as selfless service. I think that was one of those things. I'm not finding it. Maybe I'm forgetting which one. Okay, so he talked about contemplation of God, and then having full faith in God and in our actions as well. He's the protector, knowing that he's the protector, as in God is the protector and not the punisher, as popular belief goes. So and then we moved on to discussing how we can truly live the prayer of Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu in our daily lives. That's what we were talking about. And then we can move on. If there is anything to add, anyone, please feel free. Otherwise, we can move on to talking about Swami teaches that love drives away negative thoughts and fosters forgiveness. How can we consciously nourish love in our hearts? And then the spiritual importance of purity, patience, and perseverance in today's world.
I think in that last quote, there was one statement that talked about Swami is not punishing. So I just remembered this quote from Swami. So he says, he's constantly searching every little action of man, you know, so he knows everything that we are doing. If we stop there, then we will think, we have to be very careful, because if he finds something you're not doing right, he's going to punish. But that is typically the attitude that in childhood we
Yeah.
were brought about. But then when the quote continues, he says he's searching for one little action of anybody who is selfless, which is not for him. That is the one he's picking so that he can give the grace. So he's really not looking for all the things that you have done wrong, and then you have to be afraid of God. Karma will take care of that. It is only when you know you want the grace, he's looking for what have you done which is selfless. So I thought that was important from that.
Very, very important. Yes, thank you. Why is purity so essential I mean, Swami always talks about purity, right? Why is it so essential for us to have that in our spiritual journey? Yes, please.
Sairam. So if we just go recall the definition of purity, anything that leads us to materialistic or body-mind complex is impure. If we take that definition, I think that is what Swami means by purity, because let's see, even in this quote, he talks about everything is polluted. Okay, what is that pollution? Is anything that is catering to the senses, anything that is I mean that is body mind centric. If any thoughts or anything that is catering to the senses is definitely going to be impure. So if we take that thing, then what is purity? Purity is anything that is going towards realizing the spiritual the Atman. That is so I mean, I don't know whether I think that is the definition of purity. So just like how we want to keep our bodies clean, what do we mean by keeping our body clean? We want to remove all the dirt, and then we say we are clean. So we take a shower and then we come, then we say we are clean. So similarly, if we have to say our mind is clean, that means it is all the bad thoughts. What are bad thoughts? Bad thoughts are nothing but body mind centric thoughts. I think catering to the senses, that's what is bad thoughts. Thinking ill of others, causing harm to others, that could be the worst kind of impure. But even catering to the thing like self gratification or something is also impure. So I think that from that standpoint, purity is essential for us to go towards realizing our divinity. That's essential. Otherwise, we are going to still revolve around this body mind.
Yeah, Sairam, purity is also in many places that we can practice to have a purified environment, like purity in place. Even in the place we live, keep it clean, and that way it will have the positive energy there also. We don't want to live in a cluttered space, dirty place, things like that. So that is like environmental thing, okay, where we live. And then purity in food, what we consume. Try to consume sattvic food as much as possible, wholesome food. That is one place we can have purity. And then purity in relationships with people, at home, at work, with our neighbors, with our friends we meet in satsang. That is like, Swami always says, speak obligingly. You don't have the walk, it should be sweet, non-offensive, interactions. So that is purity also. And then the spiritual practices also purity in the sense not to go outwards but turn inwards. That Shreyas praise thing. We look inwards, purify our thoughts. That prayer and meditation, those things help in that way. And then again, thought, word, and action. Everything.
That's what I was going.
Yes, everything. When we act in certain way, make sure our values and beliefs are in alignment with that. If we have good ones, that is, so these are a lot of places. Purity is not only just to your thought, but wherever you can see, you can, try to achieve purity in a sense.
So I want to address actually the second part of that same paragraph. Why is purity so essential in today's world? How can we protect our inner purity and external distraction? So I'm just thinking, situation now, especially, I work at NASA. So, there is this looming, the purity that Venkat was talking about, impure thoughts. The impure thoughts can be just about your own self. Cluttering ourselves with worries is also very impure. So, um, so what is happening now is, jobs may go away. There may be huge cuts, but nothing is announced or anything. But if we start thinking about what will happen, and all that, that's all going to give only the impure thoughts. All we have to be focusing the purity is be grateful for what you have. Live the moment. All these are part of the purity. Just say, yes, I have my food for today. And as far as I know, even for tomorrow, I have the food. And, I have a shelter and nobody is kicking me out till tomorrow. So if we think in that manner, then you don't have to be worried about that. When that thing comes, that is a thing that you have to think about. And so I think all that helps in remaining fearless in life. That's what it is.
So you said, so when you say, keeping pure thoughts, because of that situation, I understand that we have worries. But that same thing doesn't, that same logic does not apply to a child, for example. They still have to a child or someone who is planning their lives or whatever it is. The planning should still be done, is
Planning
what I'm
should be
saying.
there. Yeah, planning should be there, but that should
where
not
I
be
want,
converted.
because
Yeah.
there are kids here, I want to be
Yeah.
very specific about it. You have to plan, you have to execute, and you will have to do your best
Yes.
before you, don't worry about it. The result is not in your hands, but planning is something. Yes, please.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, that planning obviously has to be done. If you don't plan and if you just say, whatever happens is for my good, if you don't do that, that is extremely tamasic. So you don't react, you don't do anything, and that's not good. So we have to plan, we have to do the right action, and yet don't attach any, because fear
Fear.
is the opposite of faith. That means you're just going to, you're not having enough faith, and obviously that's going to lead to, that's impure. I perfectly agree. So if we are going to, I mean, if you're going to, yeah, I think I said.
Absolutely. So coming back to external distractions for each one of us may impact us differently, right? Do you have, or any one of you have, a practice that you put in place for you to kind of get away from impure thoughts or worries? Is there a practice that you do that would help you? You can go around the room. There is nothing. Yeah, please go ahead.
I feel like disconnecting yourself from the external information is the purity what you get it, because the most and most like what it is you see is creating a lot of thoughts which will generate a lot of fears, angers, and all those things. Otherwise, like it's all about like when you mix an alloy is just the same thing like when you mix two metals that becomes an alloy. But if you separated them out, they both have their own importance. That's
Anyone?
Okay. So one thing is when those impure thoughts come, I immediately go and complain to Swami. Why somebody so and so is, that is the thought that came. But that helps actually to distance yourself from that. After a while, you say, it's something, in the news, something is happening and that's causing the thing in my mind. So then, it kind of distances yourself and then says, okay, whatever it is, the impact is going to come to you, then you worry about it. Let's worry whoever is going to be affected, pray for them or do something that you can do. So why get that answer comes out, but my first reaction is to go and complain.
So when a negative thing happens, like recently something, and I said, why am I asking only what's negative? Because when it's positive, I never ask.
Yeah,
I
very
don't
good
ask
point.
why. When
Yeah.
something good happens, I don't ask why, or I'm not saying anything to Swami. I'm just accepting, like, oh, it's all great.
Yeah.
But when it's negative, then why am I like, if I'm going to do that, then I need to do that with the positive. So
Very good point.
that's what I focused on this week.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice. Anyone else? Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Madhavi. Yeah.
More than practice, like I have a question. So basically, when we talk about purity, my purity definition versus your is different, right? So, I mean, like it. So for me, like not hurting others' feelings is first thing. Like I think about it, but for others, their own peace might be helpful. So when you talk about inner, going inwards. So my question is like before starting that inwards journey, like there should be some sort of prerequisites kind of thing. Like we need to understand, right? So I want to hear. I know we discussed a lot about it, but however,
So, yeah, so we do have we are talking Sat Sampatti. I think those are the few things. And but simply put, I think unity of thought, word, and action.
If you can.
We
No,
can finish this.
I just wanted to.
Yeah,
add
please.
that. See, my thought is, see, for example, we see some clutter in the house. Okay, for some people who are extremely clean conscious, first they'll come to the site. They'll say, "Oh, that's not good." Okay, for some people who are used to seeing it, that won't even bother them. So what we need to worry about is what bothers us. First, address that. And it's a step-by-step process. Then if we try to clean the clutter, then even that small dirt there will be visible. Then we may want to clean that. So it's not perfect cleanliness. It's a step, it's a sadhana. That's what I think. So it's a step-by-step. So whatever is gross, because something, definitely whatever is impure, we will know that this is impure. First address that. Then we can go deeper and then see what is more impure.
I agree. Yeah. Anyone else?
I don't have anything to add, to be honest. I think my dad pretty much said everything. I mean, I usually think of,
What is your practice?
yeah, I think chanting Gayatri Mantra has always helped me. So
Yeah.
that's my practice.
Thank you, Bhargav, for bringing that. I was going to ask if anyone has. Okay. Yeah, I also go back to Gayatri Mantra a lot. I mean, not today, not because of that, but always, ever since I think now, past 8, 10 years, it's been that has been my practice. But anyone else?
So I had a lot of fears in my 20s and 30s growing up, and but at this with age, I think my fears are gone now. Oh, with faith on Baba, he he took care of so many things in my life without even me asking. So whatever I see a lot every day. So I used to have a lot of fears. I didn't want to have kids. I didn't want to see anything. I don't want to go through anything. But those are all the challenges that we go through. And we hear so many stuff, all the bad things happening to everybody. But at this point, and I'm above 50, so I think with age, my fears are gone. What I practice is I used to always hear from a close friend. She used to, everything that happens in life, she used to always only think the positive side. I'm saying, why don't we discuss the negative? I'm saying it's the negative happened. Why don't we talk it out like it is the negative thing? But no, She'll only say the positive side of it. And I used to think she's not in reality, my God. Why doesn't she want to talk about the negative things, But with age again, I realized that's the way to live. It makes a difference. So my fears, I think I over a few years ago, I left everything to Baba. I said, I have faith in him. That really made me lose some fears. See, anything I read in the news, I used to say to the kids, don't stay there late. Don't go drive late night. Don't go here. Mom, this is how everybody is doing everything. So all those fears I had to let go. So whatever happens is for the go. Whatever, leave it on Baba, So I think that's what helped me.
Surrender. You can say practicing.
For me, it is always Swami. I just talk to Swami if I'm going through something. He's my true friend. That's it. It's only Swami.
Even when I get any fear, I just think about Swami. I leave it to Swami.
So we have some amazing souls who don't have any fear or they are very calm. I am not one such soul. I have too many things brewing in my brain all the time. So the things that I do are morning, as soon as I wake up, my eyes, I open. The only thing that comes to me is Hanuman Chalisa. Not even in the morning, even the night. For me, Hanuman Chalisa, that is my Raksha mantra. So Hanuman Chalisa, constantly I will be saying. And when I get really confused or really, in a state of, and as Shankaran said, for me, nothing else matters. None of those things I think about, except for, I know that Swami is there. He will take care of everything, but still that fear of, oh, today my knee is this one, tomorrow I'll have to depend on somebody. What will I do? Will I be in the wheelchair? So I'm telling, these are the small things. And then I have to tell myself, if that is the so, then so be it. So I listen to Swami's, this one, Samarpan talks from the students. That helps me a lot. So that is my go-to, was Hanuman Chalisa and Samarpan talks.
Very nice. Yeah. So the question is, how do you deal with your, to protect your inner purity amid these external distractions? Yes, please go ahead. Deepa.
So what is the practice, right? Couple of sessions ago, we were talking about meditation with the Sarva Priyanandaji. So what we need to do is we need to watch our thoughts, right? So when there is a bad thought, if we watch it, it will fade away. But when you watch a good thought, it will grow. So meditation is the practice to deal with all the bad thoughts. Yeah, that's all.
Very nice. Thank you, Deepan.
For me, it's learning new bhajans every week. That takes all the negative thoughts, some fears, and faith in God.
Yeah. Because you have faith only, you will go to bhajan. Otherwise, you will go to another song. So it's a good thing. Singing bhajan is good.
Yeah, I think I'm not talking about personal thing, but in order to avoid the external distractions and have the purity, I think the best, current day, the present day world, I think best thing is avoid social media. Don't see the cell phone or any TV or anything after certain time in the day. So for example, you fix a time, maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I do not want to see the cell phones or maybe watch TV or anything. And just to quote an example, right, in India, in AP, one of the celebrities' wife, she proposed that she suggested nobody should see the telephones, cell phones after 6 p.m. That drawn a lot of big controversy in India. Also, people started criticizing her, that lady. That is one thing. I think avoiding the social media will definitely will not have any distraction, and then it will ultimately improve your purity. And another example, what I was seeing on one of the issues, in Israel, in one of the towns, there are electronic shops, but the shops are banned from selling the audio equipment. No audio equipment, no cell phones. They cannot sell the cell phones. And by any chance, if they sell the cell phone, that shop will be banned.
Yeah.
Nobody will purchase anything in it.
But that is
from
on
shop.
certain days of the week.
I think, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think maybe it's, I don't know. So maybe
Yeah.
possible, yes.
Yeah.
And if you want to buy, I mean, they can sell other equipment, but not the
Yeah,
cell
cell
phones or any electronic media equipment, they cannot sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is one way of, that town is definitely everybody is pure there.
Yeah.
I can see, the way they dress, the way they go to the, prayer halls.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that is one way of
Very nicely put.
avoiding it.
Yeah. Thank you. Kids have anything? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. I just heard like when we are in trouble or like anything, we look back to our whomever we believe, God or something like this. I feel like, see, is it something like we don't believe ourselves when we look back? If we see, I feel like we have to have the most confident and the belief in ourselves more than what we know, even if it's a God or anything, the supreme power, which is invisible or something like this. If you believe in yourself, I don't think anything will be stopping you. You believe yourself, and if you know what is correct, what you are doing it, then see the trust, everything will be there, like God, which is a invisible, what I can say is the strength or something like this. You might be having it, but if you don't have a belief in yourself, whether you read anything or whether you practice anything of the God's bhajans or something, I don't think so. That will really build you daily. You have to build your confidence in yourself. That's what I believe.
Venkatesh has opened a very important topic. It's so easy to put the things on a third person. So easy. Let it be Hanumanji, let it be Ramji, let it be Baba. Having this stage is the difficult stage. That's why we have created this big thing around us. This. Because having faith on yourself is a tough part to reach to that stage. And that is ultimately going to help you. Ultimately, that is where we have to reach. But these are the various things. That's why the Dvait and Advait comes in. First, that's what is in chapter 2 also. Why Dvait? Bhakti is it's an easier path. It's an easier path. Have a third person, to have faith in. Finally, once you evolve to that level evolution, then you will start having trust in yourself. So initially, we have to give it to others.
No, I agree. See,
okay, you save me, you save me, you save me, you save me. Who is going to save you? It's your own karma, finally. We're putting it up to them to have some confidence, to have some moral support. The karma theory is much stronger than all this. I'm not discouraging the bhakti. We all do that. We all do it in the morning, in the evening. To reach to that level, when we start to trust ourselves.
See, the karma is again the reconciliation of all your deeds, what you do it. It's all because again, if you are trying to use your karma as the thing which will be helping you to be more strong, and depending on the God, I feel like, see, if you have a confidence and if you have a strong what is that, like self belief, all your karmas will be purity only.
So let's talk about this, right? You said, let's discuss, if we believe in ourselves, that is all that you need.
That's the later stage. That's the later stage.
That is what I'm trying to say. So that is a stage of a different caliber altogether. We are not the Vishwamitra here, sitting here to know it all. First, you have to burn through all of to understand where we are. What we think as self-confidence today is a very physical thing. It's not.
I contradict that thing.
Yeah, that's
I-
why I said I don't agree with you, because the faith is a different, it is a, you need self-confidence to have faith. You don't need self-confidence to have fear. Once you have faith, fear goes away. There is only one thing that can stay inside you. You may doubt yourself, but fear won't be there.
No, I agree. See, when you can't have both fear and faith kind of thing together. But I totally see when you say that, like, we are not Vishwamitras or something like this, we all came with the same soul, pure souls, but we all have added so many things and we become as adulterated. When you remove all these things, you become so pure that becomes you become so pure.
Theoretically, you're correct.
That is where you have to be.
Yeah.
See,
all I'm saying is that is theoretical.
Theoretical in the sense, like, it's all about, like, when you start practicing your detachment, and if you're not having any of the result oriented thing, that is exact.
It is theoretical, I think.
Yeah, everything is theoretical. What we are talking is theoretical, or like
Venkatesh, yeah. So we have to start from theory.
Ah,
We cannot negate. Yeah, so that's
not
okay.
negating.
No, that's what she is saying. Theoretical, yes. But finally, we have to practice. Unless we know the theory, we want to be able to do the practical part of it. So theory and practice, both. So learn the theory first, and then comes to the answer of Madhavi's question. So what do we do? All those things which the Shat Sampatti comes in, we have to go through that process. Cleansing, getting rid of mal and vikshep. How will you do that? Involve yourself repeatedly in the bhakti, repeatedly in bhajans. Keep watching it. Once we know what is good and bad, first of all, we don't even know, is this good or bad? So understanding it theoretically and then practicing it every day. And getting rid of social media definitely will avoid you all external things. You will get able to concentrate more on what you need to do. And I think that should be the first step.
Yeah, so let me go and look at different angle. So everybody in this world, whether they come to the Sai Center or not, have come in pursuit of happiness. So everybody thinks what they are doing will get them there. So either, in a genuine way, or, by cheating, get the money because they think money will buy me this, and I buy that, I'll get happiness, then keep growing this. So this is, one way. Probably all probably started somewhere there. And so you keep going in that path, then more and more, you realize that I'm not getting, the talk by, I forget his name, Volity, kind of addresses this issue. He became a very rich doctor. And then, at the end of it, he came back, that's not helping to solve his, question. So eventually you will start thinking, and then you will probably, look for some place by which you do that. So what I'm trying to say is self-confidence is important, but it should be also associated with the sattvic nature. If you are now associating it with the other two, you are not going to, achieve the goal. That's what
I want to add the third point, how the Swami teaches love. This is exactly what Venkatji was saying on Thursday. Delinking is so important. Delinking the pap from papi. Pap from papi. We have to hate pap, not the papi. So delinking. So forgive that man. We have to hate that bad deed, not that person. So that only, and forgiving people is the key to maintain, to give love and to be loved, to encourage that feeling of love in yourself. Start learning to forgive and hate the bad act, not that bad person. The person might have other compulsions. We don't know, we can't judge them. We are too small to judge them in what conditions they did the stealing from that shop, when we start beating them and maybe punish them. So the act is wrong, but the person, we have to encourage the feeling of loving still to those people also.
Sairam, all are good things to hear. The separating man from action or having faith in yourself, they all don't come overnight. We need to do a lot of practice. So the best thing we can do is start practicing. Then the faith in ourselves will also grow. There are, so that Shat Sampata 6, stages that practices yama, niyama, and all that, and we can do that, shama, dhamma, that is like, mind control, sense control, and then having patience, all this, and shraddha, faith. Faith, very important in yourself and in the divine self also. So when you have that faith, your faith will also grow. So all this, and then practices are very important. Without that perseverance, yes. And then that yama niyama is like, yama is like no violence, speak the truth, those kind of things, okay? So no stealing, that. And then niyama is that devotion, prayer, and practicing good things. So without all these tools, we cannot automatically develop faith or that that notion of the action is bad, but the man is good. We won't have that vision at all unless we practice it. So we have to, like the field of the knower and known, that field we have to plow it. We have to keep it ready. Then only when we sow the seed, it will sprout. Without preparations.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
So
yeah,
that's more intended or inclined towards the Jnana Yoga. So when you have that thing, the niyama and like the do's and the don'ts kind of thing will be known, then that's where you will be able to build your confidence. So that's the body, the foundation. What I feel is, if you have that Jnana Yoga, automatically you will be inclined towards this thing. Like whatever you feel like the invisible God is also a confidence that is giving you, but still like your inner thing will be believing that like, okay, because the Atman inside you should try to bring out. That's the ultimate.
right, exactly. But if the sediment is very thick, you won't see that Atman inside you. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
That is over the years and years. What
right.
we put on top of that thing is trying to subside. Like,
right.
So we have to, that way, like when we become like unattached and remove all these things, it's a clear visibility that what we can see it. So we need to remove all those things.
Exactly. The become, how do you become that? That is where,
it's a Jnana Yoga. I feel like it's Jnana.
Bhakti Yoga, whatever yoga, if you, Jnana Yoga may not appeal to everybody. Karma Yoga is really
Karma Yoga is the result of the Jnana Yoga is what I believe. Because if you don't have the Jnana Yoga, your actions are all like what you're doing is whatever the way you do it.
No, not really. Karma Yoga, there are people who do selfless service. They may not be in the Jnana Yoga, the Jnana path, but automatically they do the service. For the service sake, they get happiness in it. The selfless service, you don't, then automatically jnana will come after that, right?
I agree that like they do the selfless service, but without having the intentions or thought process, like what will be the result of that thing. But see, even if you want to reach that kind of thing, like, okay, selfless service also, who to be done and or something like this, I feel like that jnana should be there. Like, okay, like what is that service I need to do also?
So that's why I try to keep the discussion to what you're doing today, because that is the only thing that will matter. I understand what he's saying is completely true, but if you put it in buckets of jnana, bhakti, or karma, or whatever it is, at the end of the day, what is it that you're implementing or putting into practice today? If someone said something bad about you, if you got fired today, how do you feel? Right? And at that moment, at that time, are you able to go back and say, okay, now readjust, and rebound and go back again, do what we do best? So that kind of practical approach is what I am saying, because that is the change we need to bring in our lives to grow to the level that you're talking about.
Yeah, in simple, like I'll just say that, like, because see, I love my garden backyard. So all the plants are growing, okay, but this rabbits and all those things, like after they grow up, they just cut it at the bottom itself. Like at that moment, like I feel it is very bad. Like, and these things are doing a lot of things. But it could be something I feel like later myself a console that, oh, it could have been crowded, that it's helping me for me to get spacing for the other plants is what I'm thinking. So even that layoff could be a other action or what God has put you or like whomever you believe you, like to do the next job in your life. Because otherwise, like sometimes we don't take ourselves like, what is that like, knowing decisions or like informed decisions for us to get out of that thing, because we are so much like in the comfort zones, we'll never get out of that thing. So these kind of things should be taken as a positive. Whether the words layoffs and all these things might be a very bad, but if you see it in the positive side, that is the new opening for you to open the new doors.
What Bhavani ji mentioned about, these are three separate. I mean, let's not go into that direction, but these three are not separate, number one.
Yes, I agree
They're
with
not,
you.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I
not
agree
three
with
separate
you.
buckets at all. Selfless karma yoga is called karma yoga only when it is done selflessly.
Totally agree.
And bhakti yoga also, we have to leave our ego, surrender completely. So in all, and Gyan Yoga also, you're leaving your aham. In all the three, you are leaving your aham out. Ego is out. Then only it is the perfect Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga and Gyan Yoga. That is the similarity, number one. Number two, with experience, as Sojanya ji mentioned, with age, that maturity comes. Does it matter? Looking backwards, did that matter? Did that matter? How much does that matter at all? That's what we have to understand and start. I mean, what I'm trying at least, learn to forgive. Learn to forgive, practice it. Whenever it comes, learn to, and would it actually matter in long run? We did so much going to medical school and this and that, and someone came to the same place after paying some money, going to some capital college, and then came to the same level where we did all that. So did it matter that we did so much and they did not do anything? Still they reached there and maybe doing better than us. I told last week, my administrator came to visit me and he was my junior. He said, oh, I could not get enough marks in the Delhi PMT. I could not get into medicine, but he came as my boss now, as an administrator now. So does it matter? Looking backwards, retrospectively, does it actually matter? So we need to develop that maturity of thinking, it's not going to matter too much. So start to learn to forgive, learn to let it go, let it go. That's what I'm trying to practice, as Bhavani ji asked.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes. So with that, I mean, if anyone else has anything to add, we can continue. Otherwise, we can continue to the next piece of how do these 3 P's of patience, purity, and perseverance help us experience God. We are roamed around it. We have not touched the point.
No, we were just focusing on patience. Purity. We had not gone into patience or perseverance. But I think we have discussed all that in the past. I don't think we need to dwell too deeply into it. But along with purity, patience and perseverance are equally extremely important, because it's very easy to be pure for a short period, or then when some challenge hits us, then lose patience, and all that purity will immediately dissolve. So it's extremely important. But
Mic is not on.
Purity is the result of patience and perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
After doing the Shat Sampatti, then we get the purity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Other
I
way
think
around. If
it's
you have purity,
go
it will
together.
come
They all go together. That's how I feel.
There is not
because
one over the other, I think.
patience.
yeah, I
If
don't
you
think
have purity, patience will come.
No, finally,
And
we are
perseverance.
working on the purity part. At the end of the day, purity is going to we have to get the antakaran clean. That's the ultimate thing. Once the antakaran gets clean, everything, the bhakti and gyan yoga will reach to its ultimate only when the antakaran gets clean. That's what I think the purity is.
yeah.
So in
The way I understand, I think it's like a spiral. See, you need to get pure, but you got to sustain it. So the patience comes. Then you have to be persevering towards it. Then you go like a spiral. It's continuous. That's how I feel. It's not like you can deal with purity without having perseverance.
Let me just try to explain it a little bit here. When we do meditation, we remain silent and, then all thoughts keep coming and you keep doing it over and over, really, I'm not getting anywhere with meditation. But, you know, perseverance says that you keep doing it, whether you do it or not, keep doing it. And then, the patience. By doing that, we'll say, if I do this, it will happen. Have that faith that, that is the patience. You are not getting there. Your thoughts are going all over the place, but keep doing it. Don't stop it. That is the perseverance part. And the patience is the thought that it will help in getting to the final goal. So I think that is where the purity comes. Right? Saying they are all involved, but then, I think the other two are very important for purity.
Yeah. So, agree. Anything?
Ask Umaji, what exactly you did not agree with?
You said purity leads to patience, or because of purity you get patience.
So when will you get that? Since we talk about Vedanta, so just one more minute. Once the Antakaran gets clean, then only the God's reflection will come as clean. When the water is stable, the reflection of sun will come clear. When the Antakaran is completely clean and settled, the God's reflection will it's already there. It will be visible more. So the ultimate goal is the ultimate goal is cleaning of that yourself.
So that is the process that I think when you have the patience and the perseverance, when you do the spiritual discipline or the spiritual practices, then that leads to the purity part of it. That's what I was saying.
That's what I'm saying too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, ultimately, by titiksha, say all those short sampatis is a part of the process leading to the purity.
Yes. That patience, we have to be very consistent in our practice. So that is very important. Not only being patient.
Patience
but
is a
we
reflection
have to
of
be,
faith.
Right,
Patience is
but
also
then we have to be consistent in the practices, whatever we are trying to do, right? That effort, that should be very consistent.
Yeah, patience is basically
Right.
a reflection of your faith. Having faith in Baba, he will show us the path. He will show us. So keep doing the practice and have enough faith, giving you the patience to wait for that moment to come.
Venkat, you wanted to add something?
Wanted to say, see, it's just like how I think we started with Madhaviji saying, see, it's easy to believe that I am pure.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that definition of purity, we know in engineering, like how pure. Say we know we are all in the science can say 99% pure, 99.9% pure, 99.99% pure. So still it's not 100% pure. So like that. So it's like a spiral. That's what I meant. So you need patience, and it's a continuous process to make it pure. So it's not like we can say I am pure.
Yeah.
That's
because that is what I'm saying. When initially when we think, so that's why I say when we talked about self-confidence, to develop that, we need to understand what is purity. Otherwise, everyone thinks they are the purest of the souls. Everyone else around them is bad. That is how our nature is. There is nothing different. It's not.
I just want to give an example of purity, and you are saying 99.99. Recently, one incident I want to quote from work. So there is one instrument that uses a gas called xenon gas, which is one of the rare gases. And I didn't know that gas, a small bottle, costs some $15,000. And the instrument that uses it, run out of it. And this is a period where money is in short supply. And so without that, further work cannot be done. We are trying to get that gas. That gas specified by the manufacturer is 99.9999 purity. That's what he specified. Then there is 99 that is costing about $15,000. Then 9.995 is one thing lower, is available in the commercial market, and which is about half the price. Okay, and the guy from the manufacturer says, no, you have to have this great that we have specified. Otherwise, we cannot guarantee the performance of the instrument. So, talking about purity, what it is saying is maybe it is true, maybe it is correct. So, we see this purification, but that's still not there. And we may still think I'm doing everything, so everything that is where the patience comes. That's what I want to say.
You have to have 100% or 99.9999.
We are almost there. We are almost there.
Almost there.
I was listening to when we were growing up, having a distinction of 75% marks used to be distinction. I was listening to, I think, Shobhaji's daughter's video the other day, GPA of 4.9376. I mean, almost 100%. What's going on? Like, almost like that was a GPA. I think I heard to that video. So much of purity. I mean, just an example. We used to be happy with 75%. We got distinction. So the time is, changing. So we have to reach to there, almost there.
According to Brahma Kumari Shivani, I used to listen to her speeches. She says the original sanskars of every soul, purity comes first. Purity, peace, power, I'm not in the order, love, knowledge, truth, and the one more is power. Seven sanskars, sanskars, the original sanskars of our soul. Yeah. But she says, I used to listen to her meditation every day, 5 minutes meditation every day. In that she says, most of the time she says, everyone is a pure being. It is like white cloth, pure being is like white cloth, and we now the colorful dresses is the impurities. So we have to get into the original sanskar of the purity. White is the purity. So we have come a long way with a lot of impurities. So we have to get back to the purity. White is the purity, she says.
It's easy to explain, right? Like that.
White
very
cloth
nicely.
and the colors.
The colors, yes. Yes, absolutely. All right, Rakhi has also said, thank you for listening online, Rakhi. She says, I tried setting boundaries, which does not bring peace, but we have to analyze after she sets those boundaries. That's what she's talking about, I think, at least for a certain period of time. We need to analyze before or when you try to set boundaries for yourselves or otherwise. That's what I get out of it. Rakhi, you were better off in person because I can't understand. Sorry if I'm not phrasing this correctly. I apologize. Okay, so we will be addressing the other two P's because they do come in future chapters. There is patience and perseverance in the stories themselves, so we will talk about it. Now, we can move on to the next topic if anyone has anything to add. Yes, please.
I want to add just one line
yes,
to
please.
what Venkaji said, catering of senses. So that's I know what he actually means, but let's redefine it. All the senses are provided to us, for a particular reason. Catering of senses is provided to us by Almighty. So we have to honor it, love it, but use them for attaining what is to be attained. So catering of senses is not bad. They are provided to us, but we should have the goal. All the senses finally have to ultimately help us reaching Baba's feet.
Correct. Agree. Yes. Please go ahead.
So purity, patience, and perseverance. For me personally, I feel like my whole this journey of purity, patience, and perseverance started with faith, unshakable faith in Swami. So for me, that is where it started. From there, I'm like, I need to be the best for Swami. So that's how my purity started. Like any thought that is, negative, immediately, as Shankaran said, go to Swami, talk to Swami, mentally talk to Swami. So I think faith is one of the very critical factors, because if you don't have that is the right direction, that is the thing that what Guru has said is the correct thing, and this is what we have to follow, then you won't have the impetus to even go through this purity, patience, and perseverance, right? And one person, I mean, I'm giving an analogy, right? One person said, I eat meat to one of the gurus. And he said that, what should I do? How will I be able to go in walk in the spiritual path? That guru said, just start walking in that spiritual path. Don't worry about eating meat or not eating. Slowly things will settle down and you will automatically, give that habit away. So that's what we have to do. First have faith and simply start walking in that thing, and then things will come. And talking about self-confidence, we get that because we have somebody who is there to protect us and guide us, because there are some things that are beyond our control. We do all the hard work, we do everything, but things become, they don't pan out the way we want to pan it out. So what do? We say, okay, Swami, this is what you want. This is how it is supposed to be. Because if I don't have that confidence in Swami, I won't have self-confidence. Then next time I will be totally broken. I will be going in a negative direction. So again, I feel for me, faith brings that confidence, not in myself, that there is some power who's taking care of it beyond my control, and it is going. And that gives me the confidence to continue in that path.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So coming back to that, right? If you do not have, if you don't need an entity like God or Swami. At least that's what we were talking about, and that is true to an extent. But then your thought processes will be very worldly. It won't go beyond that sense. It will only be worldly. Basically,
I agree with you 100%.
On the senses level only.
We need a third person. So once we reach that level, we not need anything actually.
Yeah.
Once we reach that level, we not.
Then you don't
So
have to
we
talk. We
need
would
a
not be
deity,
talking.
we need a God, we need a guru, we need someone to put the responsibility on so that he can take care of us.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I just have a question kind of thing. Like, okay, whenever we are in challenge or something like this, I heard most of the people look back and look forward, look with into God or something like this to have a faith or something like okay, help me or something like. Did anyone try checking your thing with the next person whom you are living most of the time? Like, okay, do you discuss anything of that and then go to the next to Swami, or like you always sideline that thing and always talk to the? Why don't we have the faith in the next person whom we are living or whom we are moving with everybody?
That's why I'm saying, yeah, you absolutely can.
But most of the time we always have, okay, look back. Okay, there is one invisible picture is there or something like this. Okay, look back, or an idol is there. Okay, I'll go and pray something.
That
okay,
is not
mentally
the
I'll talk.
solution. So that's what I'm trying to address here. I'm saying that yes, you can absolutely do that. You can go look at all your fact check. You can fact check, right? You can go back, reason out. That's how we do.
See, that is the missing. Most of the time, this hierarchical or something like this, we directly want to talk to the God. But before that thing, you can always have your small things get resolved, whatever the fears. Most of the things will get resolved. There is nothing like which is impossible in this world. But we try to have some multiple things like, okay, whether we have a fear, okay, do I need to discuss with him, or do I need to discuss with this? Okay, I have the ego or something like this. So that is the factor. We are trying to talk to people who are invisible. Mentally, we are talking to them. But if you are talking openly to the person whom we are next to that, most of your things will be resolved, or you will get a solution for what you have. That is what we miss it. Because we have our body is full of ego.
Yeah, okay. That's I already
I
have
definitely want to clarify
Yes,
that point.
please.
Very important.
Right.
By saying
yeah.
that, just with one
minute,
line.
yeah.
By saying that, having faith in Baba, we are not telling Baba to find a solution for us. Baba will
Thank
give
you.
us the brains. Baba will give us those senses to talk to your friend. Baba will give us that direction. He will give us that thought, okay, check with your friend. That thought will come. The Baba doesn't have to come every time in his attire to show us. He will give us that brains to talk to your friend. So we are giving him the credit of giving us that thought to talk to your friend.
Correct. So my point is that we are at end of time, but definitely we can continue the discussion. This is a very worldly thing that happens to everyone. It is not just he's just putting it into words today. So this is not something that is very unique to anyone. So with that, let's end with Om and Three Shantis. Thank you all for participating today. Sorry, it went a little over time. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, Saira.
Bhargava.